Hey, what's up? It's Mike Harts here. I'm the managing director at the Memo LLC, and we're so excited to have you on Secure the Seat Live today. I'm filling in for Minda today as she's on a brief little vacation. A lot of founders and CEOs say they're all about wellness and happiness, but she's really about that life. She's taking a break. So I'm filling in for her today. I'm also the founder and CEO of Heart Centered Coaching. My website is mikeharts.com. A few weeks ago, I had was talking about the keys to overcoming procrastination, and it resonated with a lot of people. And we're going to have part two today of that. So we're going to jump right into it. Last last week, we were also discussing Minda's new book, You Are More Than Magic, and I want to let everybody know the link is in the chat. So please buy that. If you know a young lady who's a young adult or you want to buy it for yourself or your family, it's an awesome time to be alive with great tools like this. You Are More Than Magic dropped last Tuesday, and we really want to support Minda's latest project. It's an awesome book. I'm halfway through it now, and I'm hoping to finish it this week. So please drop your comments in the chat as usual today. It's an honor to be before you all today, and I hope you get something out of this. I want to start out with the definition of procrastination. Last time I talked about procrastination is greatness delayed. I'm going to repeat that again. Procrastination is simply greatness delayed. And I want to start out with an exercise for us before we do anything. There's one thing, one or two things in your life that you're procrastinating on. You're procrastinating on major things. Maybe it's your dream business that you want to start. Maybe it's signing up for a class that you want. Maybe it's a tough conversation that you want to have, but you continue to procrastinate on it. And I want to talk today how to overcome and fully get procrastination out of our life. Another word for procrastination is delay. What are you delaying that will make you greater tomorrow? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. What are you delaying that will make you greater tomorrow? There is something in your life that is stopping your greatness. There is something in your life that is stopping your capacity to move forward. One of the things that we know in life is the greater the task, the greater the reward. I'm going to say that one more time. The greater the task, the greater the reward. If there's something great in your life, then there's a great reward behind it. But maybe you feel this way. I know I felt this way before, where the reason why I'm procrastinating on certain things is because I get overwhelmed even before I start the project, right? Even before I start building my website or trying to open up a new business or trying to do something new, I start to become overwhelmed even before I start the assignment or the task. The ability to overcome that is how we overcome procrastination. If the definition for procrastination is greatness delayed, then that means we're starting out positively because you have greatness inside of you. So you should rejoice and be thankful for that. Let me give you another definition of procrastination. If procrastination is greatness delayed, procrastination is also the ability to overcome the thing that scares you the most. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's that closet in your house where you open it up and all the shoes just fall all over you. Or like the movies, you open up the closet and there's a fire hydrant that comes out and starts spewing out at you. But the biggest things in your life are the biggest things that you procrastinate on. And I want to talk about how to overcome that. But I just want your mind to go there for just a few minutes here. If you were to do that one or two things that you've been procrastinating on, how would you feel? Just think about that. How would you feel if you overcame that mountain? If you overcame that fear inside of you that is stopping you from your greatness, how would you feel? How would you feel if you didn't put that conversation off anymore? If you talked to your boss, if you sat him or her down and said, man, I don't really like the way you've been treating me? How would you feel if you talked to that family member that you don't have a good feeling about in your spirit anymore? How would you feel if you got all those toxic relationships out of your life that are not serving you anymore? How would you feel? I just want you to go there mentally just for a few seconds. How would you feel? A lot of times we don't even want to go there because we don't want to do the steps it takes to overcome procrastination. But I want you to go there because there's a feeling of accomplishment, somebody said in the chat. There's going to be a feeling of success. There's going to be a feeling of freedom. There's going to be a feeling of life if you actually do what you said you're going to do. I talked about this the last time. We talk about making promises to everybody else, but we have to keep the promises to ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves before we take care of anybody else. We have to take care of our mental health before we take care of anybody else, because if we don't, we'll fall flat on our face. So let me tell you 2 keys that overcome procrastination. Number one, the number one key to overcome procrastination is break it down into bite-sized pieces. Let me explain it like this. If you're eating a meal, if you're eating a steak, you can't shove the whole steak in your mouth and get mad when you start choking, right? You can't shove the whole piece of chicken in your mouth and get mad when you start choking. You have to break it down. I hope you're not a person who eats chicken with a fork. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about huge things you have to break down, like steaks and big type of meats and things like that. I'm not talking about big things. I'm not talking about cutting a piece of chicken don't eat chicken with a fork. Let's not do that. But that's a different conversation. I'm talking about when you're eating a huge meal, you have to break it down into bite-sized pieces and then eat it, right? That's one of the keys to overcoming procrastination. If you're like me and you get overwhelmed even before the task or the project starts, you have to break it down. If you break it down into 100% level and you say, I'm going to do 1% of this each month, in a few months, you're going to get 100% of the job done. If you need to clean out the trunk in your house, or you need to start applying for those positions or your jobs, or you need to start talking to certain people, or you need to start networking, doing the things that you hate. Sometimes behind the things that we hate are our greatest feelings of accomplishment. Man, I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the things that we don't like doing, maybe it's speaking up, maybe it's having that conversation, whatever it is that you don't like doing, maybe it's writing articles, blogs, doing SEO work, whatever it is. Sometimes that's the greatest level of accomplishment behind that. But you got to break it down into small pieces. You have to determine in your heart, I'm going to do one thing each day toward my goals in my career. Because I'm building everybody else's empire. I'm working everybody else's job. I'm helping everybody else's family, but I got to help myself. God created me for a bigger purpose than to help everybody else. It's great to be charitable, but sometimes you got to help yourself. Somebody talk to me in the chat if you hear me today. If you hear me today, talk to me. Procrastination is something that we can and will overcome with the right tools of success. But we've been trying to take it all on our plate and wondering why we're failing. Number 2, how you overcome procrastination is getting in the mindset of you being able to do what you have at hand. I said, get in the mindset of success. Most of us aren't in the mindset of success. Most of us are in the mindset of defeat. You can hear it in our voices. You ask certain people, how are you doing? It sounds like they had 5 tragedies that day. Well, this happened, and you know how Mondays are. Mondays are great. Mondays are awesome. Tuesdays are awesome. Wednesdays are awesome. You have to start changing your confession if you want to overcome procrastination. God gave us a mouth to overcome our mind. God gave us a mouth to overcome our thoughts. He gave us a mouth to overcome everything that's going on in our mind. So we have to bridge the tools of success. We have to bridge these things and start talking to ourselves to get in a position of success. Instead, at your job, when people come with problems, say, this is a good opportunity. This is a good opportunity. This is a good opportunity to be successful. This is a good, I love Mondays. There's something about Mondays that I'm going to start doing. I love Tuesdays. Wednesday is more than a hump day. Wednesday is my day for success. You got to stop waiting until Friday. You're going to be on these jobs. Just wait until Friday your whole life. And that's going to be your confession. You are greater than that. I told you procrastination is greatness delayed. We're here to unbreak the chains today. We're here to get freedom today. We're here to let in all the love and all the joy and all the hope. There's something behind procrastination. You may be scared to do some things, but you being scared, you admitting that is your first step to success. You saying, I need some help. I'm scared to start my business. I'm not even gonna lie. I've been working for these people for 20 years and I'm comfortable. But there's something inside me that says I can't stay here for another 20 years because I was meant for greater. You may be at a business that you don't like and you may need to go back into the corporate world. Whatever it is that you're scared of, you can overcome procrastination. That's the number 2 thing to overcome procrastination. Start to speak and confess that you have overcome it. And the third thing to overcome procrastination, get out of a place in a position of lack. We have to get out of a place in a position of lack. What does this mean? The mindset of lack, the motivation of lack. Stop laughing about being broke all the time. It's something about us that love to laugh about being broke. I can't afford this. I can't. You may not be able to afford anything, but you keep confessing the same things and it is producing results. How about you change that and say, I'm working towards it. I'm working towards greatness. I'm working towards success. I'm working towards opening up my business. I'm working towards everything good that's coming to me. I'm working towards it. The fear behind procrastination is what's stopping you. You can't let that fear stop you. Whatever you got to do to overcome that fear. If you need help, if you need counseling, whatever you need to do, you need to overcome that fear. You need to overcome that fear because you were made for more. I'm trying to tell you today, you were made for more. Minda always, in all of her books, talks about getting help. She talks about working through your pain. She talks about working through your problems. And this is what we have to do. A lot of us like to go through things alone. But the last thing is accountability. Accountability will lead you to a different level. Accountability. The reason why I saved accountability for the last step to overcoming procrastination is because it's often the hardest step. We don't want nobody in our business. We'll oftentimes tell people, I don't want nobody in my business. I don't want nobody. Don't knock on my door unannounced. You better text before you come over. With this coronavirus and stuff, don't be doing that. Please, accountability is one of the best things you can do in your life. Having a few people around you hold you accountable. That's some of the best advice you'll ever get. Be held accountable. Find 2 or 3 people who can hold you accountable in your business, who can hold you accountable in your family, who can hold you accountable in your procrastination, who can hold you accountable in your exercise, right? You are the one who posted it on Facebook that you wanted to start an exercise routine on January 1st. I didn't post it. You were the one that said you're starting your business. You were the one who said this. So why don't you have people hold you accountable? Because it's a win-win for both people. When you have somebody calling you each day saying, hey, did you write that article? Did you write that blog? Did you open that business account you said? Did you fill out those tax papers? Accountability will take you to the next level. See, in life, there's mentors and there's mistakes. There's mentors and there's mistakes. There's people that can take you to the next level, or you can do it by yourself. I can travel to New York on foot. I can walk there. I live in the Chicago area. I can walk there all I want and I'll make it there. But it's going to take my whole life. It's going to take some more. It's going to take, somebody pushing me along. It's going to take a lot. If I walk to New York on foot, I can get there. but there's a faster way to get there. I can take an airplane to get there and get there in 2 hours. See, accountability takes us somewhere in 2 hours, doing stuff by ourselves. My sons often say, Dad, I don't want you to help me. I want to do it by myself. They're 2 and 3 years old. They always say, I want to do it by myself. What I'm trying to tell them and teach them in life that, sons, it's not all about doing things by yourself. Sometimes you need accountability. The fourth step to overcoming procrastination is accountability. Get you some accountability partners. If you're trying a new diet plan, don't start the accountability meeting over a dinner. Start it over some exercise. That was a joke. Start it over some exercise. Do what you got to do. This year isn't over. Some of you have given up now and you're like, it's April now. I got to wait till January. You ain't got to wait till January. You got this. You were made for success. You were made for greater. You got this. April, it's the beginning of April now. Let's do this. Let's do this. You can do this. You can overcome procrastination. And just to recap, let's go through the different steps. A recap of procrastination. Number one, we have to understand that we were made for greater. It starts with the definition. Procrastination is greatness delayed. And understanding that is one of the keys to our success. We must also confess that we are greater than procrastination. Number three, we have to change our mindset toward procrastination. And the last thing, we have to have accountability toward procrastination. I told you I wouldn't be before you long today, and I hope you got some things out of this talk on procrastination. If you're in the chat, I want you to drop some comments. If you have any questions before we move on about overcoming procrastination, I'd love to answer some of your questions. You guys, the chat's blowing up. You guys have been awesome today. Minda's in the chat. She's proud. She's proud. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to drop the link to her book one more time. If you don't have it already, please get You Are More Than Magic. Awesome, everybody. The last thing we want to do our monthly affirmation. Our monthly affirmation is, I was made for this. We have to understand that we're made for this. Minda put in the chat that she's in Mexico right now enjoying. Thank you so much, Minda. You're awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Our monthly procrastination is, I was made for this. And if you didn't hear last week's monthly affirmation, I want you to replay that from last week's episode. Our affirmation this month is, I was made for this. You have to keep telling yourself you're made for this. When fear tries to creep in, you got to tell yourself you were made for this. You were called for this. You were created for this. I want you to continue to tell yourself that. Nextly, we're not going to do the grits thing today. I know some of you guys understand. If you've been on the show a bunch of times, you know Minda talks about not liking salt in her grits. I don't eat grits at all, so I mess with her all the time and said, if I ever eat grits, I'm going to pour a bunch of sugar and it's going to be like cream of wheat. So I'm going to take a picture and post it probably on Twitter with a bunch of sugar just for Minda to see. Awesome. Well, for this week, as far as the rap lyric, I want to do original rap lyric. It's called the Procrastination rap lyric, and it has a kind of an 80s vibe to it. So here you go. I'm going to spit this. If procrastination's greatness delayed, so why don't you kick the habit so you can get paid? I'm going to spit that one more time. If procrastination's greatness delayed, so why don't you kick the habit so you can get paid? That's the lyric today, and I'll type that in the chat. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Greetings to Minda. Greetings to everybody in the chat. It's time to kick procrastination out the door in this new year. My name is Mike Harts again. You can visit my website. I'm a speaker. I also do keynote speeches for organizations, and things of that nature. My website is mikeharts.com, and I'm going to post that. And if there's nothing else for today's show, I want to leave you with this. You were made for greater. Everybody on this chat was made for greater. Everybody in this world is made for greater. So you got to find your greatness. If you're in the workplace today and you're feeling a little sad, you're feeling a little depressed, maybe something has happened in your life, understand you have to keep telling yourself that you were made for greater. You were made for a greater purpose. That's why this community's here. That's why Minda writes the book she writes, because she sees greatness inside of each and every one of her family members, from Twitter to LinkedIn to the book she writes. Let's really support You Are More Than Magic. And you guys are just a huge part of this community. Without you all supporting Minda and our whole team at the organization, we would not be here. So if you ever thought for a second that your comments in the chat and don't matter, or your DMs that you send to myself and Minda, or the emails you send to us, you are the reason why we're here. You're the reason why we have this show. You're the reason why Minda can take a break for a minute, and she's given the reins to me for a day or so. You're the reason why. So thank you for your continued support. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Minda will be back with us next week, and let's really kick the habit of procrastination. Bless you all.